Hi, Liam O'Gogan here. It's Monday, the 24th of October, 2022. I've been retired from the Lecturing Institute of Technology in Dundalk since 2010. And in all that time, I realize I don't know, or I'm not in contact with whoever pays my pension. My pension goes into my bank, but in the event of something happened to my pension or who to make a query of, I really don't know. So interestingly enough, I received this letter some time ago, and it was from uh, the letter was from the National Social or the National Shared Services Office. The letter was from the National Shared Services Office, and it talked about the launch of a new website for the National Shared Services Office. So it turns out these are the people who manage my pension payments. And it mentioned the launch of this new website, nsso.gov.ie. And basically, here it says, you'll find information in relation to payroll and be logged into payroll self-service function. So suddenly now I have the opportunity of going online and being able to track my pension payments and download any documents, etc. So in this video, what I propose to do is just go through the process of going online, logging into the system and seeing what's available, and that this might be available as a contribution to perhaps retirees who are finding difficulty in accessing or going online, and to really access the transition to the digital infrastructure that we're all trying to cope with at this time. So what I did first is I logged into nsso.gov.ie. So if you just follow the cursor at any time, I'm doing this on an Apple iPad using a Bluetooth mouse as an extension. So when I go in for the home page, this is what I look for: log into payroll self-service. And that opens up the next step. So it's important. I went off and did incorrect steps, so I got into trouble with this. And just a shout out to Maeve in the National Shared Service Office. I rang them this morning and she was extremely helpful in helping me get back on track. So essentially, if I click on I'm a retiree, I click on access to retirees, and it brings me down to these options. Now, I worked as a lecturer in the Institute of Technology, and I'm told I then qualify, or my area of access is through civil and public service. Double click on this, and again, whether you're on an iPad or PC or Mac or whatever, it should make no difference. And essentially, I now have to fill in here a username and a password. So what I've been told is my username will be my pension number. So I have a 7-digit pension number. And again, if you have a problem finding out what that is, you can contact the Nationals with this shared service software. We look for an email later on. You can contact them with. Perhaps it's on some of your paperwork from your pension. The second thing is, what's your password? So if you've never been in there before, you automatically have a temporary password, and that temporary password is made up of your date of birth, and that will contain 8 digits. So, for example, if my date of birth was the 10th of October, 1950, I would write in 10, that's in 1010, and then 1950, which would give it the 10th of the 10th, 1950. That would let me sign into the system. And then once I get in there, it requires me to put in my own password and then confirm that password again. And then I have access going forward using my username, which will always be my pension number, and the new password, which I apply. So that's fairly standard when you're applying for various online services. So I'll just put in my details. I will blur those out. so that that security is maintained for me. So I put in my details. I've signed in. Now I've been in here before, so I've already gone through my temporary password session. So immediately what I can see, the sort of things that I can see my most recent pay slip and the list of pay slips before then. I can see tax details of tax, etc., and PRS that's been paid. And then the last section here is the P60 document, the end of year documents. So I'll just go through a couple of these first and we'll see how this works. So the first, I'll just look at my end of year document for the P60 for 2018. I click on view and it comes out with a complete document here with all the various details in it. And down here at the bottom it says generate a P60. So actually what this does is it generates a PDF document, which again I'm working on an iPad here. Somebody, if you're working on a PC or a laptop or a Mac device, you'll have a similar process. In the iPad up here, that's the section which shows where my downloads are. And if I double click on my download, that's what my P60 will look like. Okay, so that's how I bring it down into my local device. So if I go back to look at the next option, say my full payslip, if I double click on that, then it shows you again my full detail of a particular payslip, whatever month that was. And down here in the bottom, if I download PDF, again, it will come in as it'll download in a PDF format. This will just take a moment. And you can see that that's the PDF of my, now again in my iPad, if I were to do this, for some reason or other that's missed that. So down here I can download my particular payslip as a PDF. And what I do in an iPad, if I go up to this shared item, if I share that and run it down here, if I save it to files, I can then save that to a location, for example, on my iPad in any particular location. If I want to save it in a folder, for example, that I have, I just save it there, and then I will have access to my PDF offline. Okay, so that's how straightforward the process is when you know which buttons to press. So if you wish to go online, what you need to have is before you go on, you need simply to have your pension number. That's the first thing. If you know your pension number, the default temporary password will be your date of birth, as in, so it's going to end up with 8 digits, your date, your month, and the year, let's say 1950 or whatever your date of birth is, or year of birth. If you put them in, you can get access and have continuous background detail to your payments, etc. So I hope this video is of value. I know we're all facing times now where the transition through digital literacy to online management of various aspects of our lives is becoming an increasing norm. And I know when I started this process last week, because I pressed some of the wrong buttons, it wasn't clear to me on the site which buttons I should press. I ended up getting quite frustrated and lost and had to contact the NSSO for support. And again, thanks, big shout out to them for thanks. So if this is of benefit, the whole idea of creating these reusable learning objects could be that we can all collaboratively work together in areas of expertise or knowledge we picked up and perhaps share it with each other. So for now, again, harking backwards, giving forwards, this is Liam O'Gogan. Thank you.